Hey, this is Brad Gill at Next Home Lifestyles. Welcome back to another market update for the city of San Jose. It is September 19th. Let's dive into it, take a look at our active and pending numbers. This is for single-family homes, condominiums, and townhouses across the city. Currently, we have 842 units that are active, down slightly in active units from last week. It was at 847. So, as you may recall from past updates, as we're heading into the end of fall and wintertime, again, we've seen a normalization of our current year when it comes to seasonality in the marketplace. That means kind of what happens behavior-wise with active inventory and buyer demand. Active inventory is going to continue to fall off as we head into the winter. Happens every year, and then inventory usually resets in January at a much lower rate. So how many listings are we going to continue to decline on a weekly basis? We'll have to keep our eyes open, and it's also going to depend on buyer demand. So with that being said, pending, the total number of units throughout the city pending right now dropped to 605, down about 3% from last week. That was 627, which was also down. Buyer demand dropping right now is no surprise because we've seen our local stock index, the NASDAQ, continue to fall a little bit, which is taking away some buyers' down payment, as well as interest rates continuing to rise, which again is eroding some buyer power and affordability. So no surprise we're seeing, buyer demand slip a little bit. So right now it's both, inventory and buyer demand starting to drop. The real question is, when is that going to pick up? We'll cover that later. Inventory trend. So you can see right here, 181 units were listed over the last 7 days. That's down 10% from the week before. So we will expect that trend to continue. Demand trend, there were 123 units that went under contract over the last 7 days across the city. Right in line with where we were last week, 127. Market expectations, how many properties are coming off the market, either from failing to sell or the seller just getting frustrated and pulling the property off. Not too many. We came down to 40 units over the last 7 days, where previously we had 52. In tracking the numbers, we've kind of had somewhere between 40 to 50 units on a weekly basis come off, so there's no change there. Price changes. This is where we can see again a diagnosis of the market, tell us, healthy market, unhealthy market. Currently this week, what do you know? No surprise, 34% of the properties, or 34% of what's active on the market, 842 units, had a price change, whether that's a price decrease or a price increase. But generally speaking, around 30% of the market does undergo a price change in a balanced, healthy market. So we're not too far off. And I do expect that number to continue to drop, especially if we see more buyers come back to the market. And again, those interest rates come down. Speaking of which, 30-year fixed rate up to 6.02%. Another big reason why, again, number of overall contracts is down. So next week, I'm kind of expecting the same thing, another decrease in the number of contracts. But all eyes are on the Fed this week, who's meeting, the open market meeting, where they're going to determine if they're going to increase short-term rates. If that happens and the markets react well, then we can expect to see mortgage rates start to come back down a little bit. So we'll keep our eye on it. So tune in next week. Next week's going to be a really big update that'll really provide us and kind of set the expectation for how this fall is going to be when it comes to, again, buyers deciding if it's time to get into the market now when there's more selection, or if they want to hold off until next year when maybe rates will be lower. But again, there's going to be way less inventory and overall selection available. And my guess is we'll probably be back to some multiple offer situations. All right, guys, hope to see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.